What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, and tonight I have for you a very special guest, the Brownsville Brute, Jamie Wilson.
Ciao, homie.
Welcome back to My Block's Strongest Man, where we bring strongman into the mainstream by discussing all of the latest strongman events in the greatest analytic detail that you'll find anywhere on YouTube. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to this channel. Make sure to comment below whether you agree or disagree with my videos. I love the engagement, and I respond to every single comment. Now on to today's topic. All right. So speaking of the record breakers, I know that David was doing a payout for the sandbag record, and he keeps paying out every year until somebody beats it. Like, number one, what do you think of that idea? Number two, do you think it should be extended to the other record breaker events and maybe to the women as well?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I think that's the way Dave has it set up. I think that's, a really neat way to do it. Yeah.
Did you think the 500 pounds was too much for starting? I don't know how much you paid attention to other events, but
I'll tell you what, like a 500 pound sandbag is absolutely insane. Like, and I seen Claiborne and Mitchell, they had picked it off the floor, got to their knees, couldn't quite lap it, but that itself was, just ridiculous to me. But I can't imagine a 500 pound sandbag. I have a 400 pound sandbag here in my garage, and I haven't ever even budged it. Like, I've made it attempted it once or twice, and just getting your arms around the 500 pound sandbag to pick it up off the floor is, that's an accomplishment itself.
Yeah. I mean, I was having this conversation with John Greaves, and so, I understand his position of you want to make it like difficult to attain so the record isn't broken for a while and whatnot. But my perspective was, so I don't know if you've ever seen the show The Strongest Man in History, but it was Robert Oberst, Eddie Hall, Brian Shaw, and Nick Best. And they were recreating strongman feats from history. And one of them was in some particular bar. I forgot which historical strongman it was, but apparently he picked up like a 460 pound sandbag and walked around the bar with it. And so I guess they all decided that it was BS. It was impossible. So they said, we're going to do it with 400. And only two of the guys could do it. I think Robert Oberst and Nick Best did it. And so when I heard 500, I thought, like, only two out of these four guys, I think Brian didn't try it because he was hurt. But, I said, like, two of the guys struggled with four. Is 500's, like, not doable, is it? And so that was just my point. Like, don't start with that.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they had. There's a few sandbags around the platforms, I guess, to kind of warm up with. I think the heaviest one was 300, but I didn't know if there were any back there in the back where the warm ups were. Like, there was some equipment in the back where people could mess with, I can't imagine trying that. Without, warming up efficiently,
Yeah. And I think Trey wasn't even on the list, but I guess when you're Trey, you show up, you say you want to take a crack at something. Everybody says, okay.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through kind of your prep for Mammoth, how you feel like your prep went? Did you feel prepared? And how did the day go just overall on your mind?
I was prepping for a show early January too, and I competed early January. So I was kind of throwing, which that competition had a block press in it at the end of a press medley. So it all kind of worked out well. Nick Sanders and I, we trained hard for the block press. Like I said, it's probably closer to 8 weeks. Training went amazing. I hit a 290 pound block press in training 2 weeks out. Pretty easy press. So I was wanting to hit a 300 pound block press the day of the competition. Get to the competition, And a few things just had to change that day. You know, we had rules meeting, and then 3 hours later, we finally got to attempt the block press. So that kind of affected us a little bit, but it affected all three of us the same. We all had to wait the same. You know, I know I started kind of cramping up, tightening up. I had to warm up 2 or 3 different times.
Oh.
You know, then the floor, the way it was uneven, it switched, it changed my clean or the pick of the block a little bit, you know, to where I usually straddle the block, have a foot on each side of the block and pick it from the floor that way. The way the floor was uneven, the dirt floor, I couldn't get my fingers under the block, you know, the way I wanted them to. So I'd have to prop the block up on my feet, narrow my stance in a little bit. So that changed that a little bit. But the biggest issue was in training, I trained with a grip shirt all through training. So when I get to the comp, I didn't use a grip shirt. Totally my fault. You know, so when I cleaned it to my chest, I was having a huge issue with the block sticking high up where it needed to be. Right. And it was throwing my hand placement off. It was throwing everything off. So, and what, you know, like what was happening with the grip shirt, the block would really grip to the shirt to where not having it, it was just sliding down probably about an inch, inch and a half, just enough to really throw everything off to where I couldn't even get into position to press it. Right. I knew in warm-ups, things felt off. You know, with a 220 block, I mean, that's an easy warm-up rep for me. I knew things. I knew it could be a long day for me during warm-ups. So, but, you know, it is what it is. I learned from a few things, and, you know, I definitely learned to compete just like you train. You know, if that means with a grip shirt, then it's the little things that's really going to matter in that situation.
Right. Right. That makes sense. The warm-ups were done on the arena floor, the same uneven floor, right? So that's why you kind of knew there was an issue.
Yes. You know, but the issue was, I knew the issue, even with the pick propping up on my feet, that wasn't throwing me off too bad. It was once I got the block here and getting my hands underneath the block, I knew, because the block would slide. Yep. And I knew I was going to be, you know, I knew it was going to be a bad day.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of checked out the video of your lift right before this, just, you know, as research, and I noticed you would get it to your chest and it would slide, and you'd have to use your hands to arrest the sliding instead of to get into the pressing position that you wanted to get into. So it's like fighting a difficult to win battle. Yes, and when you start getting heavier weight on your chest like that, if you're wasting your time just a half a second, it's taking from you, you know. Right. Yeah, I'm sure also your air is a certain way as well. Yes. Like, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So all that being said, kind of what, let's say there was an ideal environment. The Mauser is still a difficult implement, much more than any type of bar, because the center of gravity is out in front of you and things like that. But what are things that just outside of Mammoth generally make a Mauser difficult to press? You know, Nick and I, we would work up the heavy singles one week and hit 270s and 280s. You know, the following week we might hit some reps with it, feeling amazing. Third week come in and feel amazing and miss a 240 or 250 block. You know, just getting into the position to press the block itself is a task. Definitely by far harder than anything I've pressed overhead. Log, axle, circus dumbbell, keg, in my opinion. So, man, like, you know, Steve Smith, the women that broke the records there that day, and then you got Steve Smith. I mean, it's hats off to those guys. Wyatt Dawson, he's the guy that got the record in my weight class out of Paducah, you know, Kentucky. So, yep. I mean, they came there that day and they showed up and executed. Yeah, I had Jessica Fithen on the other night, so we were talking Mauser.
Impressive. 220-pound block. I mean,
Yeah. I was telling her, normally I would hold back and not say you smashed the old record to not offend the other person, but the other person was her. She broke her own record.
yeah. So, yeah, they, amazing show of strength.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds to me like whereas other implements like an axle or even a standard bar, shall I say, present themselves to you in a standard way, the Mauser doesn't because it's moving in 3 dimensions. So it's not presented in a standard fashion to you every time. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely fair.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you have to be so precise with that block. It's, in my opinion, pressing overhead probably the most unforgiving.
Right.
Yeah.
So kind of all that being said, if you were invited, would you go back to Mammoth next year?
For sure. Yeah. Which I'll probably sign up next year. He probably won't send any, invitations or anything like that, but I'll sign up to go for that record again. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. So when you compete, do you typically do record breakers or full sets of events? Do you go back and forth? How does that work out for you?
No, I've never done any record breaker. That's the only record breaker I did. And, that's another thing too, is I'm not going to lie. My nerves had a lot to do with it as well. Besides, nationals, but even that, just to be there to have a chance to have a record, nerves was getting to me a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that was the first time I ever done that. It's usually, I just go to a competition, a 5-event competition, a nationals qualifier or something like that, and compete.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you get used to, and next time you're a little better at it. It's just getting accustomed to it like anything else.
Right. Yeah.
So what would you say, out of all of strongman, what's the thing you like the best about the sport?
I love the training, day in, day out, week in, week out. So, and challenging yourself and going by your program and challenging yourself and executing and training and, hitting PRs. I love showing up at the competitions, seeing where the hard work is paid off. But the people and competitors, I've met some really good friends through strongman since 2014, probably just as good as I would put some guys I've known my whole life. So, I mean, I've just met some really, really cool people in the sport, and I've traveled, traveling and training with some of these people, inviting them down to train with me, the camaraderie of the sport. It's just amazing.
Yeah, everybody I talk to says that, and especially the ones who have done powerlifting before that say powerlifting meets are like you go with your head down, nobody talks to each other, and you don't want to be bothered. But strongman, like people are sharing food, they're laughing together, they compete, but they're friends, they root for each other, and you can see that from a spectator's point of view.
Yes, yeah, it is. I've never competed in powerlifting, so I can't really weigh in on that, but yeah, I haven't had any bad experiences in strongman as far as with competitors.
Right.
Everything's been positive.
Cool. So what if kind of a very slightly stronger than regular guy like me wanted to learn how to do a Mauser or any of your other favorite events? What's some advice you would give me?
If you wanted to learn how to do a Mauser, I'll just be honest with you right here. I would do maybe what I might do is try to reach out to Steve Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Go straight to the man.
Good advice. All right. So we've been talking a lot of strongman. What hobbies do you have outside of strength training?
Hobbies I have outside of training. I mean, I guess you could maybe some people might put this with it, but I actually like, bicycle riding with my daughter. Okay. I like to take her on warm days. Her and I go, riding the trails about 7 minutes down the road here. And, we'll ride our bikes, different various trails, and, you know, usually about a 2-mile ride, you know, because her little legs get tired. She's 7, so her little legs get a little tired, a little more tired than mine do. So the 2 miles is plenty. She gets exercise, I get exercise, and I enjoy it. You know, I like cars, you know, car shows and things like that, fast cars.
Yeah.
But that's about it. I don't really have any time for any other hobbies. I just really love training. I love training.
Yep. I hear that. I don't have time for hobbies other than following all of you training.
Hey, that's perfectly fine.
So right in the next room is like my little weight room, and I literally got the deadlift bar in there. I run in there between meetings and just get done what I can get done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, so hobbies, you know, sometimes hobbies can cost money. Strongman, everybody knows that costs money, whether it's training at home, gym memberships, whatever it is, food, whatever. It costs money. So I figured my money's going in, you know, it's going in enough places to have too many hobbies, you know.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. So what's new and exciting on the horizon in the future for you?
New and exciting. I'm going to compete in E-Town, Kentucky. I can't even remember the name of the show, but I'm going to go up there March 20th to compete.
Okay.
And then July, I would like to hit Tyler Young's competition with Grade 8 Performance. He has a competition July 3rd, just a 3-event competition. I went last year. He puts on a great show. That was his first one. I'd like to see what his stuff does in the upcoming years. For sure. People need to look out for his shows for sure.
Definitely. Shoot me over the info. I'll promote you and him, and especially if he's doing a live stream, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So just kind of to wrap up, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you, follow you, anything you'd like to promote. I don't know if you're sponsored or in affiliation with anything, but whatever you'd like to promote, take this opportunity.
I mean, you know, I've taken in a lot of new competitors over the years, novice competitors, people that hasn't ever competed or got a chance to mess with implements. You know, Jeremiah Benefield helped me out when I first got in. He invited me up to his place, and I was able to touch the implements, compete for the first time. So I do that for people. You know, I try to give back to the community. People can reach me on Instagram, you know, at Brownsville_Brute, or Facebook Messenger. They can look up Jamie Wilson. They can probably recognize the profile picture. And shoot me a message on Messenger. So yeah, if anybody's interested that hasn't got a chance to, interested in competing, that hasn't got a chance to mess with any implements, wants to learn a little bit, have a little fun, better themselves, whatever, shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to help you out the best I can.
Fantastic. That's really generous. And once again, I really wanted to thank you for jumping on tonight. I know we stayed a little longer than we wanted to, but greatly appreciated, and we'll catch up again for the next comp.
Absolutely, John. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. You just let me know.
All right, sir. You have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So if you like this video and haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing using that button right there. And also stay tuned for some other videos that you might love blooping up right there. This one is the one that YouTube thinks that you will like the best, and this one is the one that I think you will like the best. As always, share this with everyone, and until next time, ciao, homie.